Today is February the 13th, 2022. And on February the 13th, 2017, in Delphi, Indiana, Abby and Libby, two young teenagers, went missing on the Monon Trail. And to this date, they have yet to identify how they died or who killed them. But they admit it was a murder. So, due to the censorship on this platform, a lot you will have to read between the lines, because I can't openly say some things. But you will see. Just watch for duping delight and just listen to what is said and what is not said. And I'm going to try to tie some of this together. Here we go.
Today does mark 1 year since loved ones reported Abby Williams and Libby German missing. You should have received our push alert on this.
That sparked a search that has touched the nation. Our Matt McCutcheon covered this story a year ago when the news broke that their bodies had been found, and is live there on this somber anniversary. Good morning, Matt.
Ben and Julia, good morning to you. There will be a vigil held here later tonight around the community of Delphi as this community remembers this somber 1-year anniversary. And after a couple of different moves, this is where the investigation is headquartered this morning here at Delphi City Hall, where investigators receive anywhere from 4 to 7 tips a day from all across the country. As detectives continue to work and follow those leads, the families continue to work as well to keep this case in the national spotlight. February 13th is when Libby German and Abby Williams would disappear while hiking on a trail outside Delphi. The next day, on Valentine's, searchers would find their bodies near a bridge. February 15th, police would release a cell phone image from the girls of the suspected killer. A week later, on February 22nd, would come the audio recording of the killer saying the phrase, "down the hill." Then on July 17th, police would release a sketch of the person they are looking for in the case. The family has made several national TV appearances, just last month appearing on Megyn Kelly Today.
They did everything right. They had a phone and they used the buddy system.
The families rarely pass an opportunity to keep their loved ones in such a terrible crime in the national spotlight.
I owe it to the girls. The girls deserve this. We need to get this guy caught. And while I can't actively work the investigation, Rich, I can actually help draw tips in and bring information to the case and contact the public out there.
Now that video you just watched was February the 13th, 2017. 1 year after that date. And did you catch anything 1 year later of the family members? Were they tore up? But I did a search. If you can look up top there, I'm taking screenshots here. Death of Abby and Libby on YouTube. And I went through all of these videos. And with the exception of one 2-minute video from February, I believe it was 27th, which didn't say anything about anything, that was the oldest video that I could find. It's like they scrubbed all the old videos for the first year that was ever made. I could not find any. These are all less than 4 years old. Everything in that search. Oh, but what's that you say? Maybe they just didn't want to go back any further in their search. Well, here's one about Abby and a dead fish, episode 4, 10 years ago. And here's another one from 8 years ago. They died with their boots on. This is all in the same search about Abby and Libby from 8 years ago. From 5 years ago, Dent's mom, her dog died by the name of Abby. And where is it here? 10 years ago, Abby goes down. I don't know what that is. But that whole search did not go back past 4 years. So I did a Google search looking for information on it, because I know there was a lot of videos. I had a couple of channels deleted that I had made a video or two on that, because there was so many things that didn't add up, and the family members didn't seem that tore up about it, and Facebook pages that have since disappeared. I'm not on Facebook anymore. I've already been blocked from there, so I can't prove anything that I had seen 5 years ago. And you can't find any information that I could find. Now maybe you can. I went through all 15 pages here, and there is nothing going back past 4 years of any news article. Now here's a local video from February 2020.
These girls are still very much alive to us.
It has been 3 years now since Abby Williams and Libby German were killed in Delphi.
And today, their family went to a national audience. They took their plea to find the killer on national TV. You may have seen them on the Dr. Oz show. It was here on Channel 13 just a few hours ago.
And our Rich Van Wyk checked it out today as the families put the spotlight on a crime that has really scared that small community and disheartened grieving loved ones.
For 3 years, we followed police searching for this man, the man suspected of killing Libby and Abby. Today, in front of a nationwide TV audience, the family members talked about things I've never heard them speak of before.
When Abby Williams and Libby German took a walk they never returned from, older sister Kelsey German insisted they wear sweatshirts.
And so as soon as they walked away, Libby turned around and told me she loved me. And that's the last thing I said to them.
Dr. Oz True Crime devoted more than 20 minutes to the horrific unsolved murders. Libby's grandmother, Becky Patty, said her jaw dropped when police released a new and dramatically different sketch of the suspect.
That is just him walking in
We've been out there,
a loop.
we've been doing, going to festivals and flyer campaigns, and we've been pushing this picture for 2 years, and it's the wrong.
I got to mention something here. I've got to be careful what I say, but there's been a lot of duping delight, and even I will show you some pictures of the grandfather. Not a week later, I have not seen one tear. I could have missed it. Like I say, there's many videos missing now.
It's the wrong person.
Grandfather Mike Patty said that to protect their investigation, police have not told even him details of the crime.
There's one other person out there that's going to know that, and if they keep that stuff close to their vest, that'll help them to kind of weed that information out and be able to figure out exactly who that is when it comes down to making an arrest.
Kelsey said she's been hurt most by rumors that the family was somehow involved with the crime and is hiding information from police. She regularly appears on social media.
To tell people, like, this is not what's happening. You need to look at the facts and not try to pin it on somebody that it's not.
It's been 3 years since the girl's murders stunned the small community of Delphi. Abby's mom, Anna Williams, worries they will be forgotten.
These girls are still very much alive to us in our hearts and our families, and working really hard to keep their memories always alive.
I spoke with Mike Patty this afternoon. He told me they took the opportunity to go in front of a nationwide audience and tell the girl's story, hoping to reach an even bigger crowd, hoping to reach the one person who knows this man and can lead police to him. Anne-Marie?
All right.
And she had a grandpa that dearly loved her.
The one
and
eye.
we all loved her.
No
Through
tears.
their heartache, the grieving family of murdered Delphi teen Abby Williams is hoping to help others. Abby Williams and Libby German were found dead more than 2 months ago. As investigators search for their killer, some of Abby's family members in West Michigan are taking action. They're holding a community memorial luncheon Sunday in Stanton, Michigan. It's where the Williams family is from and where Abby's grandfather, Cliff Williams, still lives. Her great aunt says 13-year-old Abby had a close relationship with her grandpa, and he'd do anything for her.
She said, well, Grandpa, I signed up to play ball and I need some equipment. I don't have any. So Cliff took the day off from work and went down to Delphi, took her shopping.
Donations from that Michigan luncheon will go toward a scholarship fund in Abby's name.
Now here are some screenshots that I have taken, and there also are some that I've taken screenshots of a week or two after in 2017, which you cannot find any information. Like I say, it's out there, it's just been suppressed and you can't find it in a search. There he is on Dr. Oz doing the Masonic hand sign. And I'm going to get into that near the end of this video. And the sisters, and I've not seen one tear shed in any video. Find me a video where they're crying. Good luck with that. There's the alleged suspect. And the audio down the hill, when they first released that, just a couple of days after that, you could not make out any words whatsoever. But I guess they claimed they cleaned it up and got down the hill. But they almost immediately cleared the grandparents and any family member of any involvement in it. Almost immediately. There he is doing the 666. There they are in an interview. Every one of them just smiling from ear to ear. There's the other grandparent. Oh, that's a small one. You can't really tell. Sorry about that. Now that's something I took right after it happened. I got a screenshot of that one. I'd love to find some of them old videos, but I couldn't. And there was a whole lot of money involved too with them ballpark and the pages that they collected all kinds of donations. There was always a fundraiser going on for the first year. I wouldn't even know how to put a figure on how much money was involved in that, just in the first year. Let alone all the revenue from commercialized, when any video or any TV station aired an article on it, they run commercials. And that was less than a week. Maybe a week. I can't prove it now because I can't find the video. I snapped these screenshots of him in an interview. About a week later. Looks pretty tore up to me.
Liberty have been really close friends since kindergarten. We were by each other like every single day, every passing period. She was considered my twin because we looked so much alike. My dad, her grandpa and grandma got us mixed up. Abby, me and her became friends 5th grade. Abby was quiet in front of people, but she was not quiet at all in front of us.
February 13th, our girls went missing. On February 14th, they were found victims of a double homicide. This horrible crime has torn a hole in our families that will never heal.
At first it was just a disbelief. Really nobody believes that this would happen in the community.
I was just shocked that anything like that would happen here. You just don't dream it would happen in your backyard.
This is a tragedy, and I think a lot of people have an emotional connection to this case, and they feel an urgency to get it solved.
It's the small things that seem to hurt the most. It's just natural to holler for them to come to dinner, or in the mornings to get up and get ready for school.
We have our share of the quote-unquote big city issues, just on a smaller scale. They don't happen as often. This particular case, in my 30 years of experience, is not like anything I've seen before in my career.
We cannot get this wrong. We cannot fail in this case. We have to find the person responsible for murdering Abby and Liberty.
The trails are beautiful. They're great trails. It's a sad situation that somebody has taken something that was so well put together and turned it into a crime scene.
It's a great place for pictures. I found a picture of the bridge. First thing I saw, I was making a poster for Libby, and they told me to get stuff out of her locker. And as soon as I opened it, the top picture was a picture of the high bridge. She loved the place.
Brought him the orange Easter bunny with the orange balloon. It's to go with the orange lights that the community is burning until the suspect is found.
I'm going to go into law enforcement, and I'm going to do the best I can, catch criminals like the person who did this to them.
We will find you, and there will be justice in this situation.
Just showing a little screenshot here that I took a while back. In the greater metropolitan area of Indianapolis, every one of those little things is a Masonic lodge. The state is full of them. And so many events have happened just north. And I've got another map I'm going to show you next. Here we go. Now let's see what happens when we zoom in. More and more lodges start popping up. Let's back out a little bit so you can get the perspective here. But they're everywhere. The other map that I showed you pinpointed a whole lot of them around Indianapolis. See how they pop in as you zoom in? Order of the Eastern Star. And just in case you don't think that Shriners are Masons, go to their website. And here's a listing of the Eastern Star Lodge chapters just in Indiana. Just about every city in the state of Indiana. And here's a website that I found according to what I could understand. This is the one close to Delphi. Lodge 20. Looks like it's in a church. Let's take a look here. Tried to find a membership, but you have to be a member to find that. But they show their officers. There is your worshipful master. And these are all high-ranking Masons in that charter. They could be your mailman, your fireman, your policeman, your news reporter, your plumber, your bus driver, your teacher. They are sworn to secrecy. Take a look here. Let's just run through here. You can pause this and read it. Or I will leave the link to this one. I'm not going to leave all the links, but there's their address. There they show you where they're at. This is interesting right here. Calendar. This tells you over here. Let me pull this out so you can see. The blue is when a lodge meeting is. So there's lodge meetings. This is for this month of February. Yellow is other. And purple is Rainbow Girls. The young girls. Might be your Girl Scout, your someone sitting with you in your 9th grade study hall or whatever class. They recruit family members, from my understanding, and they keep them in the family. That's why people don't understand, how can young kids be involved? Dimmalay in the gray. Dimmalay boys, the young boys. Just at this one charter, they are recruiting young children. Back on their home page, scroll down here. This is kind of interesting. Click on this link.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Now, for the few of you that think of hospitals and charities and nursing homes when you hear the word Freemason, a word which I soon hope to never speak again after this video. Well, it's a front, a cover story, and like everything else in this presentation, I'm going to show you. This too is for the poor Freemasons that are going to have the call to make an appearance in the comments section trying to defend their beloved fraternity. This is 33rd degree Freemason Manly Hall, who was named Freemason of the Century by the Scottish Rite Journal in 1990. And you'd be surprised how many Masons haven't heard of him, because they don't bother entering the Masonic library and searching out the mysteries themselves. These same Masons think they know something, and they parade themselves on websites and social media, calling people like me, oh, he's just an anti-Mason, anti-Mason. Blind fools at best, deceivers at worst. Well, the Freemason of the Century wrote in this book, and in this chapter, Freemasonry is a fraternity within a fraternity, an outer organization, concealing an inner brotherhood of the elect. One visible and the other invisible.
That's why I've said in the past in my videos, but I really don't know. But this is a high Mason that turned his back on it and is exposing it. You can find his 5-hour long video on BitChutes. I'll link it in the description. But there is a fraternity within a fraternity. Those that are supporting hospitals and going out and doing charity work, they think they're doing good, but they have not raised through the ranks to the higher degrees. I would wager that most people in these secret societies, they have to believe in a God. But the lower ranks, the foot soldiers, do not know they are serving Lucifer, as they like to call him, the light bearer, the God of this world. Now going back to this map, north of Indianapolis, I'm going to show you a couple other things that have taken place up here in this area. Abby and Libby was up in this area. With all these Masonic lodges, it's not even showing up here. You've seen how many Eastern Star lodges there are, one for every city, and these cities aren't even showing the Masonic lodges. The Satanic Temple in Indiana adopted a stretch of 421, which is north of Indianapolis, highway. Now you have to bear with me as I go through these images. They have to clean up the highway once every so often to adopt that stretch of 421, which runs up toward Delphi, north of Indianapolis. And they wear the inverted cross. They call it the inverted crossroads. Well, Indianapolis used to be called the Crossroads of America. Right here doing the devil horns. And here's that stretch of highway they adopted, which 421 runs up toward Delphi, Carmel. This whole area right here, I'll show you a couple other events that happened. I like to call it the Masonic, I don't know what you call it. But you just don't know who you're talking to. Maybe that's why Jesus said to trust no man. They could all be in these secret societies, your next door neighbor, even your own family member, because they are sworn to secrecy. They would not tell you. Even a husband wouldn't tell his wife. That's how secrecy, from what I understand, these secret societies are. Let's take a quick look at some of the images of the Rainbow Girls and the younger Eastern Star women that I found in this search. You can tell that is in one of their temples. Young children. But how could they pull it off in a high school, right? Sorry, that picture's not very big. But you can tell these are all Masonic orders. These are women of the Eastern Star. Take a quick look at a couple more images that I found. from that area north of Indianapolis. This one here I found very interesting. This is from one of their lodges just north of Indianapolis. You can see it's recent because they have their face diapers on. But look right down here. The Satanic Church is right up there in the same area. What's he doing? Let's take a quick look at this. These are in no specific order, but this is Jason Seaman, the Noblesville school shooting, and that's Ella Wessler. I believe I pronounced her name right. If I didn't, oh well. He was shot 3 times, the gut, the hip, and the arm. She was shot 7 times, once in the face. Okay. He was given a GoFundMe page, which who knows how much money he got, but he's sitting in his brand new car he was given. There they are in a parade. That's 6 weeks after being shot 7 times, once in the face. There he is getting the keys to his new car. And just by chance, just the day before the shooting, he's doing the Masonic hand sign, but anyhow, they had a 911 active shooter drill. There he is. That's 3 days after being shot in the gut, the hip, and the arm. Now this is all Noblesville, Indiana, just up in the same area north of Indianapolis. He walks out there with no aid. He goes to a baseball game, spends the whole day being shot in the gut, the hip, and the arm. That's 3 days later, reaching over the fence. There she is, 6 weeks later. Shot once in the face, right? Shot 7 times and disappeared for 6 weeks. Shot in the face. There he is with one of his buddies. There he is walking down the fence line. There he is standing there promoting his GoFundMe page 3 days after being shot. And there he is at the ball game sitting on a steel chair. And I can't forget this one. This is right up there in the same area. This is a out shed where the trash goes in, and this is facing the woods. They made a big deal about this paraphernalia that was spray painted on. Same area. Same area. These 3 kids, twins and the girl, struck and killed by that truck. Not a drop of blood on the highway. Not a drop of blood on the truck. And I'll leave you with this, that I